Before we get started, and I'm not really one to brag or boast about any milestones that I hit, but just earlier today ended up crossing 500 followers on Rumble, which is fucking sweet. As of right now, I think it says 501 or something. Just took a look, and thanks, guys. That's really cool. Y'all over there always seem to, I don't know, really have my back whenever shit goes sideways on the other platforms. So thanks a lot for that. And here's the bigger things on the platform. But anyways, like I said at the tail end of the previous video, we got to talk about Hunter Biden, okay? Because he's going through a grand jury trial right now. What's that all about? Well, he's got some seedy business dealings with China, which you might have heard about before, but there was some testimony that was provided today. And as we see here, the net closes on Hunter Biden, first son's ex-girlfriend, 28, who, when he was dating her, okay, she's 28 right now, and I know Hunter's a creep and all that stuff, and he does some rather questionable things from time to time, even though it's hard to get evidence of anything that he's done because most of it just goes up in smoke. But he was dating this girl in 2018, so 4 years ago? 24 years, and he's like 50, he was on the other side of 50. Ooh, big ups, but that's about where it ends. Anyways, testifies for 5 hours to grand jury in tax probe about how he lived in Chateau Marmont for a month when he learned to cook crack and give her thousands of dollars to spend. Should be spend. I think we know where the additional D ended up. Anyways, this is Hunter Biden's girlfriend told grand jury she was instructed by the president's son to withdraw thousands of dollars from ATMs, and the two partied at lavish hotels from coast to coast while Hunter was in the throes of drug addiction. Zoe Keystan, 28. Now she's 28. Then she was 24, which again, virtual fist bump for that one. But outside of that, who goes on the social media handle Weed Slut 420. Now, okay, we know from the Rittenhouse trial, the social media handles can be funny from time to time, but come on, seriously, Hunter Biden, fucking Weed Slut 420. Doesn't that just seem to fit just a little bit too perfectly? Testified for 5 hours at a federal courthouse in Joe Biden's home state of Delaware last Tuesday morning. The investigation focused on the president's son for alleged tax crimes. Yeah, this took a while to come out because transcripts for grand jury trials take a minute to come out. It's not like a bunch of different criminal trials that happen at the state level across the United States that are either televised or even now with the Supreme Court where you get audio recordings live. When it comes to federal courts, when it comes to grand juries like this, it takes a while, okay? And that used to be the lay of the land, even though there should be video and recording of every single trial everywhere. You have the resources. It's not that fucking expensive. And if you can go in and you can all publicly view the fucking trial, what's holding everybody up? But anyways, different time or different topic for a different time. But yeah, she was there last Tuesday morning in the investigation focused on the president's son for alleged tax crimes. Keystan, a garment, lingerie, and textile designer, faced a range of questions over what Hunter Biden was doing with his time and with her and what his spending habits were like in 2018 when he admitted to cooking crack at the infamous Chateau Marmont in Beverly Hills. The pair had been seen going to openings of art shows and were regularly spotted at parties together in Manhattan. I have never seen such high-functioning crack addicts, by the way, but hey, here we are. And he might be a creep, but he, outside of maybe fucking his cousin, he has a pretty decent track record of tail. Hey. But then again, she's also 24, so it's really hard to be a fucking mess. Keystan told a grand jury she was instructed by Biden to take out thousands of dollars at a time from cash machines. How do you even do that? Okay, like I've never had thousands and thousands of dollars in my bank account, even to just withdraw from, but I don't know if you can go to like one ATM at a time and withdraw thousands of dollars, or how much of a logistical nightmare it would be to go from ATM to ATM to withdraw theoretical thousands of dollars. I don't know, maybe she was high at the time and didn't quite remember that it was hundreds and hundreds of dollars. In her testimony, Keystan reeled off a list of pricey 5-star New York City hotels, including the Soho Grand and Four Seasons, where she stayed with Biden, reports the New York Post. It would have been great if they would have stayed at one of the Trump hotels, but c'est la vie. She also detailed their West Coast hotels, which included celebrity hotspot Chateau Marmont, where the pair stayed together for a month. Like I said, not bad. And again, there's the post from Weed Slut 420. Impressive, hilarious, and impressive. In his memoir, Beautiful Things, released last year, at the end of last year, and where he admitted to smoking what he thought was crack, but later turned out to be Parmesan cheese, Hunter reveals how he was banned from the legendary celebrity hangout because of drug use, which is just an incredible revelation, by the way. Because isn't that where John Morrison, whatever, that fucking overrated hack from The Doors, isn't that where he turned up dead? The money she took out of the ATMs was used to buy clothes and food, but isn't she a clothing designer? Why does she need to buy clothes? Anyways, but she explained she didn't know how he came to have the funds, reported the Post. Oh, you know, all of that weird symbol language that tends to show up on any of his personal communications devices. It's just fucking weird. Keaston joined a growing list of former business partners and associates that have been subpoenaed to give evidence to the Department of Justice's secretive, very secretive, 3-year probe into Hunter's murky financial affairs. Federal agents went directly to Keaston's New York City apartment, where they served her with a subpoena to testify at the grand jury after her name came up during the broad investigation. They weren't looking just specifically at women. It's just a wide-ranging investigation. She appeared directly after Hunter Biden's baby mama, London Roberts, 30, far too old for him, sat for the grand jury, as well as having a 3-year-old daughter with the president's son, who he refuses to publicly acknowledge. Oh, that's the stripper he knocked up? Oh, okay. Roberts spent more than a year working in a junior position at the investment firm Rosemont Seneca, which again just sounds like a shell corporation, but I don't know, I feel weird that I also have the similar taste in women with a known crackhead, even though I've been, you know what, drug and alcohol free for my entire life, but I don't know how I wouldn't take any seconds from knowing who and how she spends her time. Okay. And then also anybody who likes those Chinese cartoons enough to buy a fucking shirt that's in anywhere inspired by that nonsense. During her testimony, a source for the Post revealed how Keaston believed she was responsible for helping Hunter Biden turn sober. Oh, really? She was the good girl that was out there and smoked up all the crack, so there was none left. Noting that she was with him at the craziest point in his life. What is that, like a big win or something? And persuaded him to become a painter, having explained how art was a great way to see a hopeful future rather than using drugs. That's why she turned to clothing design, I guess. Current probe is said to involve Hunter's dealings overseas. Hopefully it eventually turns into his art dealing, which is really impressive considering he's just a rookie painter. It attracts different art collectors from around the world, specifically from like China and different other places where he has fast business dealings. It's just a coincidence, isn't it? Last month, J.P. Morgan Chase Bank was subpoenaed to hand over records of transactions between Hunter's various ventures and the Bank of China. Now, why would they need to do that? For the previous 5 years. The document offered the first real clues as to the specifics of a Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss's probe, in which was launched in late 2018, but controversially kept under wraps until weeks after the 2020 presidential election. Another weird coincidence, supposedly to avoid becoming a campaign issue. No, somebody who's going to have direct communication with the most powerful office in the free world has shady business dealings, ones that are, actually tangible and not, dealings with Russia and China, duh! Shit that's actually under investigation, shit that's actually annotated in multiple places. No, you want to keep that under wraps because it could be a campaign issue, a dirty campaign issue for the people that we want to have win anyways. But whatever. CNN has reported that the investigation is focused on Hunter's business dealings in China, while political claims it relates to whether he paid taxes on all of his income. The truth is somewhere in between, I'd imagine. I learned yesterday for the first time that the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware advised my legal counsel. Also yesterday that they are investigating my tax affairs, Hunter announced on December of 2020. I take this matter very seriously, but I'm confident that a professional and objective review of these matters will demonstrate that I handled my affairs legally and appropriately, including the benefit of professional tax advisors, I'm sure. London Roberts also gave evidence to the grand jury last week. Scandal-plagued Hunter claimed that in his 2021 memoir that he had no recollection of Roberts, nor the encounter that led to the birth of their daughter, Navy Joan, in 2018. Wow, in 2018 too? Wow, he was really fucking his way across the entire country at that point, apparently unbagged. Good for him. And he has never mentioned the little girl's name in public, despite paying her mom a reported $2.5 million settlement, and a court ordered DNA test. Sorry, I thought it was an NDA. A DNA test proved he was the dad. Hunter revealed that Hunter, 52, had an affair with Roberts he once hired her to work at Rosemont Seneca, his Washington-based DC investment firm that now finds itself in the crosshairs of a federal inquiry. It was initially reported that Hunter met Roberts while she was studying crime scene investigation and, doing things in order to pay for her way through school. And working as a stripper at a DC club, which he frequented. No, that's not like Hunter at all. In his memoir, Biden says he has no recollection of his encounter with somebody he previously hired to work for him and somebody who he knocked up. Anyways, I was a mess, but a mess. I've taken responsibility for it, except for, the kid that, you fathered, you fucking cretin. Anyways, that's him with his son that he actually recognizes, but who knows what the kid that he sired out of wedlock looks like. And the woman that he's currently married to kind of looks like a younger version of his stepmother, which should probably raise a couple of red flags. But if you also know the sexual history of Hunter Biden, which I regrettably know as well, thanks to the laptop from hell, being attracted to family members is not necessarily anything that he's too dissimilar with. But with that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.